Pop's unexpected retirement took everyone by surprise, but now Wembanyama is opening up, and his insights could shed light on the true motives behind Pop's decision to step down. Yet, he's not merely alluding to the reasons for Pop's departure. He's also indicating that the iconic coach may return. Honestly, I'm not concerned about him. I'm confident he's going to be back before long. Let's examine the recent announcement from Wembanyama and its implications for the Spurs' future. An iconic duo abruptly dissolved. The bond between Victor Wembanyama, the generational star who burst onto the NBA scene as the most anticipated prospect since LeBron James, and Greg Popovich, the legendary coach with 5 championships and the highest win total in NBA history, was intended to shape the forthcoming chapter of San Antonio Spurs basketball. Their alliance was expected to serve as the foundation of a new dynasty, echoing the era of Tim Duncan that delivered numerous titles to San Antonio. Nevertheless, their collaboration was unexpectedly halted when Popovich resigned in May 2025, concluding his remarkable 29-season reign as the Spurs head coach. The abrupt change reverberated throughout the basketball community, leaving fans and analysts alike pondering the motives behind Popovich's choice. Amid the swirling rumors, it was Wembanyama who eventually shed light on the factors prompting Popovich's exit from his coaching role. The narrative unfolds with Popovich's health issues, which are the main trigger for his shift away from coaching duties. On November 2, 2024, he experienced a mild stroke at the Frostbank Center just prior to a match against the Minnesota Timberwolves. This health crisis instantly pulled him from action, leading assistant coach Mitch Johnson to step in as the interim head coach. On November 13, 2024, the San Antonio Spurs confirmed that Popovich had suffered stroke, asserting he was in rehabilitation and anticipated a complete recovery, though they did not specify when he would return. Initially, the situation was labeled as an unspecified medical issue, with interim head coach Mitch Johnson merely mentioning that Popovich was unwell. This ambiguity sparked significant worry within the NBA community, with ESPN's Shams Charania highlighting the serious apprehension regarding the matter. Wembanyama, in his second season in the NBA, delivered one of the earliest public updates on Popovich's health. During a media session after a win against the Portland Trail Blazers on November 8, 2024, he expressed a cautious optimism, albeit with a measured tone in his remarks. Pop doesn't share updates often, but I'd say we get the essential news, just what we're clear to know. I'm not anxious about him. I trust he'll return. However, our direct communication with him has been sparse. This remark highlighted key elements of the scenario. Primarily, it implied that the team was only getting restricted insights about Popovich's status, with details being meticulously managed. Secondly, it was noted that direct contact with Popovich had been minimized, underscoring the gravity of his health issues. Thirdly, even with the limited interaction, Wembanyama conveyed faith in Popovich's eventual comeback, mirroring the team's hopeful perspective at that time. Yet, as time went on, the seriousness of Popovich's situation became more evident. By December 17, 2024, Popovich shared a statement thanking everyone for their support and described the preceding 6 weeks as an unanticipated recovery phase. As the 2024-25 season unfolded without Popovich coaching, it became increasingly clear that his return was uncertain. On February 27, 2025, the course of events changed significantly. Popovich revealed his decision to step away from coaching for the rest of the 2024-25 season, emphasizing the need to focus on his health. In his announcement, he conveyed optimism about returning to coaching later, indicating that a complete retirement had not been decided just yet. Before the coach's health issues, Wembanyama and Popovich had been building a strong relationship. The young talent had welcomed Popovich's rigorous coaching style and respected his forthright methods. In October 2023, Wembanyama reflected on a moment when Popovich reprimanded him during a film review, saying, "What's the toughest he's been on you?" He continued, "In our private talks, he recognizes my intelligence and my effort. Occasionally, he's communicating certain lessons. I recall a couple of months into the season, during a film session, he exclaimed, 'What the hell is this?' From day one, this is where you began. What made you hesitate? Progress is essential. Occasionally, he reaches out." This interaction highlighted Wembanyama's openness to Popovich's approach, known for crafting NBA talents via a mix of rigorous guidance and tailored development. Popovich's method with Wembanyama echoed his guidance of Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili, centering on fundamentals, discipline, and steady development. The coach showed great eagerness about mentoring Wembanyama, calling him his most significant basketball influence. Popovich even likened Wembanyama's basketball intelligence to that of Duncan, a legend in NBA history and a key figure in the Spurs' success. This remark carried substantial weight as Popovich seldom makes player comparisons and usually highlights individual strengths. From a coaching standpoint, how would you evaluate his gameplay, his position among the Spurs you've coached, and your excitement about leading him? I avoid making comparisons between players, so that's off the table. As mentioned earlier, he's Victor, the player I aspire to become, and I saw that in our coaching staff. Naturally, landing the top pick in a draft is thrilling, and I'm genuinely excited about it. This admiration was reciprocal. Wembanyama acknowledged Popovich's insightful approach and leadership. In March 2024, Wembanyama expressed the significance of his personal training sessions with Popovich, saying, "I think it's truly invaluable, and one of the factors that makes this the ideal environment. Moreover, I believe I've contributed a bit from each of these experiences." Each conversation with the coach brings new insights. The evolving mindset took a twist in the dynamic between Popovich and Wembanyama, especially due to the young star's health issues throughout the 2024 to 2025 season. In February 2025, Wembanyama faced a diagnosis of deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder, which cut his season short. After surgery, he remained hopeful about his recovery, reporting in April 2025 that he felt well and was adhering to his doctor's regimen. The Spurs medical team confirmed that Wembanyama's health and future in basketball posed no serious issues, and he was anticipated to return for the 2025 to 26 season. Although he faced his own health challenges, Wembanyama stayed in touch with Popovich. As reported by Shams Charania in February 2025, the two had maintained robust communication, with Popovich actively mentoring Wembanyama while navigating his own recovery from a stroke. This reflected a departure from previous comments about minimal interaction, indicating a deepening bond between them during their respective health battles. In April 2025, Popovich's health faced another serious setback. He encountered a medical episode at a San Antonio dining establishment, necessitating a short hospitalization. On April 15, 2025, reports indicated that Popovich suffered a medical emergency at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, where he collapsed and was subsequently taken to a medical facility. While it was later confirmed that he was stable and recovering at home, this latest health scare intensified worries about his capacity to resume the intense demands of being an NBA head coach. Ultimately, these ongoing health issues prompted Popovich to announce his resignation as the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs on May 2, 2025, as he shifted to the position of president of basketball operations. This action signified the conclusion of his remarkable 29-season career as head coach, during which he recorded 14-22 regular season victories, the highest in NBA history, alongside 5 NBA titles and 3 Coach of the Year honors. Following the news of Popovich's departure from coaching, Wembanyama took to social media to express a sincere message that reflected his deep respect and admiration for his mentor. "Thank you for your wisdom, your guiding hand, the culture you've fostered, and most importantly, for being such a remarkable and motivating individual. It was a privilege to be part of those 29 years, and I wish you all the best in this new chapter." Wembanyama's post concluded with the GOAT symbol, emphasizing the significant influence Popovich had on him during their short time together. This homage encapsulated not only Wembanyama's sentiments towards Popovich, but also shed light on the factors prompting the coach's exit. By highlighting Popovich's character traits rather than solely his success as a coach, Wembanyama implied that personal health and well-being took precedence over professional achievements, mirroring the Spurs' ethos of valuing individuals over trophies. The core of Popovich's choice becomes clearer. While his health struggles were the most apparent reason for retiring, a closer look uncovers a blend of elements that contributed to this pivotal career shift. Through Wembanyama's remarks, media interactions, and insights from credible sources, a fuller understanding of Greg Popovich's decision to leave coaching unfolds. His health was undoubtedly the immediate trigger for this departure. At 76, the rigors of coaching in the NBA, with its travel, extended hours, intense game oversight, and media commitments, were already tough. The stroke he suffered in November 2024 greatly diminished his capacity to handle these duties. Furthermore, another medical incident in April 2025 highlighted the dangers of resuming such a high-stress role. When Popovich declared his retirement from coaching, he recognized these health factors in his announcement. "Despite my enduring love for the game, I've concluded that it's time to leave my position as head coach." This feeling resonated with his previous remarks made in February 2025, where he had voiced optimism about a possible return to coaching. The change from optimistic recovery to a definitive transition suggested that during the period from February to May 2025, Popovich had accepted the constraints placed on him by his health issues. Wembanyama's understanding of this development stemmed not only from his public declarations, but also from his grasp of Popovich's essence and priorities. Through their close collaboration, Wembanyama noted the coach's philosophy towards basketball and life, especially highlighting his focus on perspective and equilibrium. In a March 2024 discussion, Wembanyama remarked that one of the most enriching elements of Popovich's guidance was how each conversation added to his knowledge, indicating that their dialogues went far beyond the realm of basketball and into valuable life insights. In addition to the challenges to his physical health, the emotional and mental strain of coaching influenced Popovich's choice as well. His time away from the team was extended, leaving players without any means to reach out to him for several weeks following the stroke, reflecting the seriousness of his situation and its effects on his capacity to connect. During an emotional gathering with Spurs players on February 27, 2025, where he revealed he would not return for the current season, it became clear how hard it was for him to step back from a position that had been central to his identity for many years. Further compounding this emotional burden were the Spurs' recent setbacks. The franchise hadn't reached the playoffs since 2019 and endured consecutive 22 to 60 seasons prior to 2024 to 25. Although Popovich welcomed the opportunity to nurture young prospects like Wembanyama and Stephen Castle, the absence of immediate competitive achievements starkly contrasted with the success he experienced during his dynasty years. An experienced league official pointed out that Popovich endured many defeats in recent years that could have been avoided, indicating a selfless dedication to the rebuilding process that might have been exhausting. Wembanyama expressed awareness of these challenges in his remarks regarding Popovich's rebuilding strategy. The emerging talent acknowledged that Popovich's view on team progression was thorough and measured, prioritizing foundational skills over immediate outcomes. This matched Popovich's philosophy, which he had shared on Wembanyama's draft day. It's fundamentally about setting expectations. It's essential to follow the process, something I frequently emphasize. It's A to B to C to D, across multiple tiers. There's a variation with O's and X's in the game. The rules diverge a bit from FIBA, and you'll need to adapt to that. With all the attention, he'll definitely attract some scrutiny. Rather than just focusing on O's and X's, the priority lies in creating a supportive framework where he can thrive as a victor. He isn't LeBron, Tim, Kobe, or anyone else. His identity is Victor. That's who we aim for him to embody. This dedication to steady growth, while admirable, demands substantial emotional involvement from Popovich. The stroke and ensuing health issues prompted a re-evaluation of the sustainability of this emotional commitment, considering his physical state. Having witnessed Popovich's unwavering commitment up close, Wembanyama grasped the impact it had on his mentor. Another crucial element in Popovich's choices was the need for stability and succession within the organization. The Spurs' elevation of Mitch Johnson to head coach following Popovich's retirement underscored their focus on preserving the culture that defined Popovich's era. Johnson, who joined the Spurs as an assistant in 2019 and has experience in the G League, had established strong rapport within the locker room during his interim coaching role, gaining Wembanyama's admiration as well. Wembanyama's remarks about Johnson during this transition highlighted his assurance in maintaining coaching consistency. When asked about his experience playing for Johnson during this transition, Wembanyama remarked, "He's done well in the games. He's filled the role of a coach effectively. However, we haven't really practiced together. Our schedule has kept us on the road. We'll see how it goes. Overall, he's been excellent." This favorable feedback indicated that Wembanyama viewed Johnson as a strong candidate to take over for Popovich, potentially alleviating Popovich's worries about stepping down. The rapport Johnson had already built with the budding star would likely reassure Popovich, who has always valued player growth and the well-being of the organization more than his own accolades. Popovich's shift to president of basketball operations allowed him to continue being a pivotal influence for the franchise while easing the physical strains of coaching. In this new capacity, he could still mold the Spurs roster around Wembanyama, possibly speeding up their rebuilding efforts. This move facilitated his ongoing impact in the organization without the demands of daily coaching, helping address his health concerns while retaining his decision-making voice. Wembanyama's farewell tribute to Popovich upon his retirement highlighted this continuity with a heartfelt, "Wishing you the best on your new chapter," showing that Popovich was moving into a new role rather than departing from the franchise altogether. This detail underscored Wembanyama's awareness that Popovich's choice was not about forsaking the team, but about finding a viable way to keep contributing in light of his health challenges. Popovich's timing in stepping down indicates a calculated approach regarding the Spurs' future. By resigning after solidifying Wembanyama, Castle, and the recently acquired De'Aaron Fox, he mitigated the risk of overstaying and potentially damaging his legacy. His previous remarks on adjusting to modern styles, reminiscent of the beautiful game in 2014, demonstrate his understanding of the necessity for growth. His departure may signal a belief that a younger coach like Johnson could resonate more effectively with the current lineup. Additionally, Wembanyama's health issues in the 2024-25 season contribute another dimension to this storyline. The deep vein thrombosis diagnosed in his right shoulder in February 2025 cut his season short, coinciding with Popovich's declaration of not returning to coaching that year. The convergence of health issues faced by the coach and a standout athlete forged a remarkable connection, with Shams Charania noting that Wembanyama and Popovich kept in close touch throughout their recovery journeys. This mutual experience of addressing significant health obstacles likely intensified their understanding and respect for one another. Wembanyama's compassion for Popovich's plight was shaped by his own struggles with health challenges, offering him unique insight into Popovich's choices that others might not possess. Although factors such as the Spurs' performance and Popovich's advancing age played a role in his decisions, the health matters undeniably became the primary concern. An ESPN report from April 2025, following the incident involving Popovich at a restaurant, indicated he was stable and recuperating at home. However, the toll of several health crises within a short span rendered the rigors of coaching untenable. Wembanyama's tribute to Popovich highlighted the coach's character and leadership, expressing gratitude for the wisdom and culture he instilled, while indicating that these traits would remain vital to the Spurs even after his departure. Rather than concentrating solely on Popovich's coaching successes, Wembanyama celebrated him as an inspiring individual, showcasing his broader influence that would last beyond his coaching era. Essentially, Wembanyama suggested that Popovich's retirement was primarily influenced by health issues, notably the stroke in November 2024 and another medical event in April 2025. Nevertheless, these health concerns coincided with organizational factors, such as planning for succession and rebuilding efforts, along with personal considerations about legacy and lasting impact. This decision was more a strategic transition rather than a desertion of the Spurs, placing importance on Popovich's health and the franchise's progression, while nurturing talents like Wembanyama within the established culture crafted over nearly 30 years. Heritage and future influence. Greg Popovich's shift from head coach to president of basketball operations signifies not a conclusion, but a transformation in his ties with the San Antonio Spurs and Victor Wembanyama. This change is set to influence both the team's future directions and Wembanyama's growth, with effects that resonate well beyond the immediate nature of Popovich's departure from coaching. His legacy as a coach is firmly established by his unparalleled achievements: 5 NBA titles, 1,422 regular season victories, more than any other in NBA history, 22 straight playoff appearances, and 3 Coach of the Year honors. In 2023, he was honored with induction into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, solidifying his legacy as one of the sport's premier coaches. Yet his most lasting influence lies in the culture he nurtured in San Antonio, a framework built on selflessness, discipline, fundamental prowess, and individual development. Wembanyama acknowledged this cultural impact in his tribute to Popovich, specifically expressing gratitude for the environment fostered. This recognition highlights Wembanyama's insight that Popovich's legacy surpasses mere tactics or game management, extending to a comprehensive organizational ethos. Known as the Spurs Way, this approach has yielded not just championships, but also a blueprint for sustainable success that numerous franchises aspire to replicate. For Wembanyama, Popovich's guidance, despite their short time together, has established a cornerstone for his journey in the NBA. The young talent's openness to Popovich's rigorous coaching methods is reflected in his anecdotes about being corrected during film reviews, showcasing his alignment with the Spurs' ethos of responsibility and growth. This readiness to accept feedback positions Wembanyama to uphold Popovich's principles, even as the coach reduces his direct involvement. Popovich's analogy of Wembanyama's basketball intelligence to that of Tim Duncan, one of the legends in NBA history and a pillar of the Spurs' legacy, implies he sees in Wembanyama the potential for a similarly transformative career. This evaluation holds considerable significance, especially considering Popovich's generally cautious nature regarding player comparisons, as he noted on draft day. From a coaching viewpoint, how would you evaluate this game and his position among the Spurs legends you've guided through the years? And how thrilled are you about coaching him? I refrain from making player comparisons, so that won't occur. As mentioned, he is Victor, and he's the player I aim for, and he will be the focus of our coaching efforts. Naturally, acquiring the top draft pick is a thrilling prospect for anyone, and I am very enthusiastic. The comparison Popovich later made between Wembanyama and Duncan highlights the remarkable impact this young talent had during their shared time. This analysis provides a lens through which to view Wembanyama's potential development with the Spurs, indicating that he may serve as the cornerstone of a new dynasty, similar to Duncan, founded on the principles instilled by Popovich. As he steps into his position as president of basketball operations, Popovich's ongoing involvement in the Spurs guarantees Wembanyama will receive his invaluable insights, although in a different role. In this front office capacity, Popovich can strategically tailor the team's lineup around Wembanyama, tackling the issue that plagued the organization during the 2023 and 2024 seasons, surrounding their exceptional talent with players who enhance his distinctive abilities. Wembanyama has voiced optimism regarding this evolving partnership, with his farewell to Popovich conveying hope for a new beginning rather than sorrow over an ending. This outlook resonates with the Spurs' commitment to continuity and transition, where changes are implemented thoughtfully to preserve cultural integrity while responding to evolving dynamics. Mitch Johnson's promotion to head coach marks a blend of consistency and progress. Having taken on the role of interim coach during Popovich's absence, he gained Wembanyama's admiration throughout that time. When discussing his experience with Johnson, Wembanyama expressed confidence, stating that Johnson has shown everything one could expect from a coach in the games thus far and is performing exceptionally well. This positive feedback implies that the shift in coaching, although notable, is unlikely to hinder Wembanyama's growth or the team's established culture. Additionally, Johnson's elevation showcases Popovich's lasting impact on the coaching scene in the NBA, stemming from his expansive coaching lineage. Many present-day coaches can trace their mentorship back to Popovich, such as Steve Kerr of the Golden State Warriors, Mike Budenholzer, ex-coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, and Ime Udoka of the Boston Celtics. Johnson's promotion upholds this lineage, ensuring that Popovich's coaching methods carry on, impacting upcoming generations of both coaches and athletes. For the Spurs, Popovich's shift comes at a crucial juncture in their rebuilding phase. The team has developed a promising young nucleus anchored by Wembanyama, with Stephen Castle, the 2024 Rookie of the Year, and Aaron Fox joining to set a solid groundwork for future triumphs. Popovich's skill in managing rebuilding efforts, having previously shifted from the David Robinson era to Tim Duncan and then to the Kawhi Leonard phase, will be essential in his new front office position. Wembanyama faced his own health struggles in the 2024-25 season, notably being diagnosed with deep vein thrombosis, mirroring Popovich's recovery from stroke. This shared experience of health challenges has seemingly deepened their connection. According to Shams Charania, they stayed in close communication while recovering. This bond, built on mutual openness, could bolster their relationship as they step into new roles. Popovich serves as president, while Wembanyama becomes the franchise's figurehead. The timing of Popovich's transition is also key for Wembanyama's growth. With their relationship solidified during Wembanyama's initial 2 NBA seasons, the groundwork is laid for ongoing development, even without frequent coach-player dialogue. Popovich's direct engagement with Wembanyama, featuring tailored training sessions of the young talent greatly appreciated, established a growth strategy that could continue under Johnson's leadership with Popovich's guidance. Reactions from fans regarding Popovich's exit and its effects on Wembanyama have varied, though they lean mostly positive. On platforms such as Reddit and Twitter, supporters shared feelings of sadness over the health-related decision, while also expressing gratitude for Popovich's impact and hope for Wembanyama's development within the Spurs' well-established framework. The mutual health struggles faced by both Popovich and Wembanyama during the 2024-2025 season nurtured a sense of empathy among the fan base, who perceived their concurrent recoveries as a chance for shared connection that might enhance the team's culture in the future. Additionally, the wider NBA community has shown encouraging support for Popovich's transition. Coaches like Steve Kerr of the Golden State Warriors honor Popovich by sporting T-shirts that express gratitude, while NBA Commissioner Adam Silver hailed Popovich's unparalleled track record. This collective acknowledgement from fellow coaches highlights the importance of Popovich's legacy and sets high expectations for how his influence will guide the Spurs alongside Wembanyama and the team's culture. Looking forward, the relationship between Popovich and Wembanyama is set to grow rather than fade. In his role as president of basketball operations, Popovich will take charge of strategic initiatives to enhance Wembanyama's growth, overseeing everything from team assembly to the overall culture, while Johnson manages daily coaching tasks. This setup capitalizes on Popovich's vast experience and foresight, all while addressing his health needs, potentially prolonging his influence on the organization for years ahead. Wembanyama's statistics prior to his 2024-25 injury, showcasing an average of 24.3 points, 11.0 rebounds, and 3.8 blocks per game, highlight the strong groundwork laid by Popovich. The organization remains committed to nurturing his growth as both a player and a leader, with Popovich's management ensuring the necessary resources and framework are available to fully unlock his remarkable capabilities. The context surrounding Popovich's exit, though difficult, might ultimately enhance his reputation rather than reduce it. By emphasizing his health and the long-term goals of the team, he exemplifies the principles he has long advocated: perspective, selflessness, and dedication to a cause greater than personal success. Wembanyama's acknowledgement underscores the profound influence Popovich has had, not just through his coaching, but in shaping a deeper understanding of his legacy. Essentially, Popovich's choice to resign as coach signifies not an ending, but a shift in his dynamic with both the Spurs and Wembanyama. The groundwork they established during their short coaching relationship will continue to impact Wembanyama's journey and the culture of the Spurs, as Popovich remains involved in the front office, keeping his insights and knowledge within reach. As Wembanyama evolves into the foundational player Popovich anticipated, their narrative will persist, influenced by the mutual respect and core values that characterize their bond. Greg Popovich's legacy stretches beyond mere victories and titles, encompassing the lives he has influenced and the culture he has fostered. Through Victor Wembanyama, this legacy has discovered a deserving successor, a once-in-a-generation talent whose respect for Popovich's guidance and mentorship is set to uphold the Spurs' commitment to excellence in this new chapter. The highly publicized trade of Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks was already stirring up buzz, but things took an unforeseen and strange twist. In his eagerly awaited debut, Davis initially dazzled. In the midst of the game, he suddenly walked off, leaving fans puzzled and guessing about his health. The situation escalated with reports emerging that Davis has left the country following his sudden exit. With the team remaining silent, social media is ablaze with questions about his dedication moving forward. Many are now speculating that his season is finished, amplifying the doubts about his dependability, as Anthony Davis has truly deserted the Mavericks. Anthony Davis vanishes. Anthony Davis has begun his tenure with the Dallas Mavericks in a bewildering manner, and things are not going well. The standout player has stirred upheaval within the Mavericks organization, prompting supporters to doubt his abilities and dependability on the roster. Tensions heightened, with an increasing number of fans expressing their discontent and contemplating what lies ahead with Davis involved. Excitement was palpable as the Dallas Mavericks geared up to introduce their latest star, Anthony Davis, on February 8, 2025, at the American Airlines Center. Dallas pulsed with energy, thick with anticipation and wonder. Fans waited for this day after the stunning blockbuster trade on February 1st that rocked the NBA. The deal sent the cherished Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers, while Anthony Davis and Max Christie joined the ranks in Dallas. On game day, the scene outside the arena was electric. An increased police force was essential to handle the protests from supporters still shaken by Doncic's exit. Inside, the atmosphere buzzed with excitement. The arena brimmed with fans eager for the highly anticipated unveiling of their new star, Anthony Davis, who'd been rehabilitating from an abdominal injury he got in his last game with the Lakers on January 28. As the matchup against the Houston Rockets commenced, Davis immediately asserted his presence on the floor. Right from the outset, it was evident that he was on a mission to showcase his talent to the Dallas Mavericks and their supporters. With unwavering determination, he swiftly impacted the game by delivering a pinpoint pass to Daniel Gafford, who finished with a thunderous dunk that sent the audience into a frenzy. The atmosphere in the American Airlines Center buzzed with excitement as fans rose to their feet in support of their emerging superstar. Davis kept his momentum going, displaying his remarkable talent and physical prowess. He swatted away a shot from Rockets all-star center Alperen Sengun, asserting his dominance on the hardwood. Just moments after, Davis seized a rebound of his own and delivered an emphatic two-handed slam, reinforcing his impact on the game. The crowd roared with approval, and energized, Davis looked to the spectators and declared, "I've arrived." The Dallas fans felt a wave of emotion as they adjusted to life without Luka Doncic. During the contest, Davis and Kyrie Irving developed an impressive synergy. In the latter part of the second quarter, Irving tossed an impeccable lob to Davis, who catapulted into the air and executed a thunderous dunk, clutching the rim for effect. This electrifying moment pushed the Mavericks ahead by 20 points, prompting the Rockets to take a timeout. The arena exploded in cheers again as Davis and Irving exchanged a triumphant handshake. Their beaming faces mirrored the thrill and optimism they infused into the squad. Davis's display was truly remarkable. In under 3 quarters, he accumulated 26 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 blocks, hitting 10 of 18 attempts, including both of his three-pointers. His display echoed the impressive moves he executed during his 5.5 years with the Lakers, where he played a crucial role in securing the NBA championship in 2020. Nonetheless, the enthusiasm took a sharp turn when Davis left the game with just 2 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Maverick supporters looked on anxiously as Davis made his way to the locker room with a lower body injury. Later reports indicated it was a groin and quad issue, putting him out of action for a month. Even with this disappointing twist, Davis had already captured the hearts of Dallas fans who were keen to witness more of their budding star. Unfortunately, he didn't reappear for the remainder of the game and was absent afterward. This predicament was truly the least favorable outcome for someone making their debut, especially under the scrutiny of skeptical fans. Davis's latest injury validated the anxieties of Maverick supporters, who deeply mourned the abrupt loss of their rising star, Luka. Don had been unwell for several days. A multitude took to social media, sharing their emotions regarding this unforeseen predicament. Ideal. This is an ideal beginning. Anthony Davis should not grace the court for the Mavericks again. One disgruntled fan commented on X, his frustration evident. Another voiced that with just 31 minutes under his belt, the Mavericks may already want to consider trading him. Hopes in Dallas fizzled out even before Davis stepped onto the hardwood for his second game. Meanwhile, another user on X highlighted where they felt the Mavericks' leadership misstepped. They also discussed the potential outcome for Don's itchy situation with the Lakers. The Mavericks didn't capitalize on Luka's complete trade worth because they were enamored with the version of Anthony Davis he no longer embodies. That being said, Luka's performance with the Lakers is bound to nosedive by the time he hits 30. He's already sluggish and lacking motivation, and there's no indication it will improve. This has sparked frustration among fans who were left baffled and questioning the reasoning behind their star player's departure. The choice to trade Doncic was met with widespread disapproval, leading fans to direct their frustrations at general manager Nico Harrison. 2 hours prior to Davis's first game in Dallas, fans flooded the American Airlines court area, expressing their discontent towards those in charge. A crowd of Maverick supporters congregated outside the venue, brandishing signs and chanting for Harrison's ousting while demanding that the team be sold. Their ire was aimed squarely at Harrison, viewing the trade as a personal slight rather than a mere business move. One fervent fan harshly rebuked Harrison for parting with a once-in-a-lifetime talent in his prime, igniting a protest that would draw headlines across the nation. A different supporter exploded with rage, directly confronting Harrison with no hesitation. "You claim to have acted in the city's best interest, but really, you prioritize your own gains, showing zero understanding of basketball. As a Mavericks fan, you made a colossal error. You dealt away a once-in-a-lifetime player who's still at the peak of his career. It's time for you to step down. Your presence isn't welcome." Following a series of insulting comments and taunts aimed at him, Harrison chose to stay out of the public eye. He missed Davis's introductory press event and did not return to his usual spot during the Rocket Initiative. Regarding the suggestion to sell the team, it centered around the prospective new owners, the Adelson and Dumont families from Las Vegas. Many speculated that their choice to make the bold trade was a strategy to relocate the Mavericks to Las Vegas. His initial period with the Mavericks was tumultuous, yet Davis navigated it with poise. I'm not surprised by the fans and the city's emotions, but my role is to focus on the game and fulfill my responsibilities to provide the fans with hope and assurance amidst uncertainty. Nico is the one who brought me here. During his introductory press event, the power forward addressed the emotions of the fans, mentioning that their reactions did not catch him off guard. He emphasized that he would never underestimate the significance of Don Cece's absence for the fans, opting instead to concentrate on what lies within his control, his abilities. In another interview, Davis attempted to shift the fans' perspective away from the uncertainties of the team's future, offering them comfort by referencing his previous successes. "I'm aware of my identity as a player," he stated. "I rank among the top 75 of all time. I just wanted to reassure the fans in Dallas. I'm here for you all, right now. Sure, you lost a star like Luka, but you've gained a star in me." Looking back, Davis had to navigate through the intense emotions from Fabs in his debut with the Mavericks. The team wrapped up the game against the Rockets with a bittersweet win at 116-105, yet his injury raised more questions than it resolved, echoing his troubled history with injuries. Davis's left adductor issue is currently hampering his celebrated 12-year journey in the NBA. This situation has stirred up controversy, especially after his first game with the Mavericks confirmed fans' worst anxieties. It's essential to recognize that the NBA All-Star champion has faced numerous injury setbacks throughout his career. Even during the infamous Lakers-Mavericks trade, he was sidelined due to an injury. He had already sat out the Lakers' last 2 games due to an abdominal strain. On the basketball court, Davis exemplifies a champion, showcasing the reasons he's recognized as one of the league's most formidable talents. However, his health has consistently posed challenges over the years. From his rookie debut, Davis's exceptional potential was clear for all to see. Yet, injuries have frequently derailed his journey, leading to lengthy absences that have influenced the story of his career. During his inaugural season with the New Orleans Pelicans, Davis participated in 64 out of the 82 scheduled games. During this period, he encountered a stress fracture in his left foot, a setback that hinted at the difficulties ahead. This injury sidelined him for 11 games, and in addition to that, he faced a shoulder issue and an MCL strain, which restricted his court appearances even more. The next season, Davis's injury woes persisted. He endured a broken hand, a bruised left index finger, a sprained left shoulder, and bouts of back spasms. These setbacks resulted in him missing 15 games, a considerable loss for someone envisioned as the franchise's cornerstone. Despite facing numerous challenges, Davis's skills shone brightly as he guided the Pelicans to their first playoff appearance during his 3rd year. However, injury woes continued to plague him with issues like a sprained toe, a sprained ankle, a sprained shoulder, a dislocated finger, and recurring back spasms, resulting in 14 missed games. The 2015 to 2016 season became the most challenging for Davis, as he was sidelined for 21 games due to a torn labrum and a left knee injury. These setbacks left him unable to participate in the critical closing games of the regular season, a vital time for teams chasing playoff dreams. Even with these obstacles, when in good health, Davis continued to be a powerful presence on the court, effectively influencing the game on both offense and defense. In the following 2 seasons, Davis remained mainly injury-free, participating in 75 games annually. Nevertheless, his last year in New Orleans was overshadowed by a sprained finger, sidelining him for 26 games. This phase of better health was brief, as joining the Los Angeles Lakers introduced fresh hurdles. During his inaugural season with the Lakers, Davis sat out just 9 games and showcased an outstanding playoff display, aiding the team in clinching an NBA title. Sadly, the following seasons were riddled with more serious injuries. During the 2020-21 season, Davis participated in merely 36 games, hindered by calf and Achilles injuries that proved to be more serious than his past upper body issues. The subsequent season was even more challenging, with Davis appearing in just 40 games due to an MCL sprain and a right ankle injury. Nevertheless, he made a strong comeback in the 2022-23 season, playing 76 out of 82 games. Unfortunately, this current season has again seen him sidelined due to a core injury. Throughout his career, Davis has been absent for a remarkable 232 games, with 108 of those occurring during his 7 seasons with the Pelicans and the remaining 134 during his tenure with the Lakers. Davis's track record of injuries has undoubtedly influenced his career, crafting the narrative of a player whose exceptional skill often gets eclipsed by his challenges in remaining healthy. His capacity to excel when fit is beyond dispute, Yet the persistent struggle with physical setbacks has sparked concerns regarding his longevity and the effect on the franchises he plays for. As he forges ahead with the Dallas Mavericks, there is hope that Davis can surmount these hurdles and cement his status as one of the sport's all-time greats. If you're curious about whether his financial situation has been impacted, it's safe to say that his prowess stands strong alongside his injury woes. Despite the setbacks, Davis's worth on the court has never been in doubt, and his contracts illustrate the considerable commitment teams are prepared to make for his talent. In 2020, Davis inked a landmark 5-year deal with the Los Angeles Lakers, valued at $190 million. This agreement highlighted the Lakers' dedication to constructing a championship-worthy roster featuring Davis alongside LeBron James. The monetary aspects were impressive, with Davis set to receive a base salary exceeding $43 million in the contract's final year. This deal reflected the Lakers' confidence in Davis's on-court potential, notwithstanding his previous injury challenges. Nevertheless, the impact of Davis's injury history on this contract was substantial. The Lakers were aware of the risks that came with acquiring a player who had a history of injuries, but the potential upside of having a healthy Davis on their team was too enticing to ignore. His prowess on both ends of the court made him a crucial piece, and the Lakers chose to take that risk. As Davis's contract approached its conclusion, he secured a new 3-year deal worth $175 million with the franchise in 2023. This agreement, effective the following season, reinforced Davis's role as a key pillar of the Lakers' future. The financial details of this contract were even more appealing, with Davis poised to earn over $54 million in the first year, $58 million in the second, and a player option for $62 million in the last year. Even with his track record of injuries, the Lakers' choice to grant Davis a hefty contract underscores their confidence in both his skills and his capacity to perform at an elite level. The financial stakes of this agreement are considerable, as it occupies a large segment of the team's salary cap. Nevertheless, the Lakers' readiness to commit to this deal reflects their trust in Davis's ability to guide the franchise towards greater achievements. The recent major trade that transferred Davis to the Dallas Mavericks marks an exciting new phase in his career. By bringing Davis on board, the Mavericks have accepted the challenge of managing his hefty contract. This decision showcases the Mavericks' ambition to create a competitive roster centered on Davis, even with the significant risks tied to his injury background. The financial aspects of Davis's contract are substantial for the team. They face the challenge of managing their salary cap effectively while ensuring ample resources are available to assemble a solid supporting team around him. Despite past injuries, the Mavericks' choice to bring Davis on board emphasizes their faith in his potential to enhance the team's performance and compete at elite levels. His contracts with both the Lakers and Mavericks illustrate the fine line organizations must walk when investing in elite talent, while also considering the risks posed by injury-prone players. Although he has a track record of absences, the substantial contracts he secures indicate the esteem in which he is held throughout the league. Davis may not have experienced a downturn in earnings amid his professional highs and lows, yet his influence in basketball circles has faced scrutiny on several occasions. Finding himself between Nico Harrison and Maverick supporters isn't a new ordeal for him. In 2019, as he transitioned to the Lakers, Davis wrestled with intense backlash from Pelicans fans, although he managed to preserve his mental well-being. As a dominant presence in the NBA, Davis once served as the foundation for the New Orleans Pelicans. His impact on the court was truly sensational, igniting excitement among fans and experts who envisioned a prosperous journey for the team with him at the helm. Yet, nestled within this optimistic storyline was an escalating dissatisfaction that would ultimately trigger a dramatic turn in Davis's career. Indicators of his discontent surfaced in the final phases of his time with the Pelicans. Even with his remarkable individual achievements, the team's consistent inability to succeed was disheartening. The Pelicans found it challenging to keep pace in the highly competitive Western Conference, frequently missing out on playoff opportunities. This ongoing struggle with performance took a toll on Davis, whose ambition to win and attain excellence drove him relentlessly. As defeats accumulated, he began to wrestle with an overwhelming dissatisfaction that transcended basketball. The unending string of losses diminished his enthusiasm for the sport, prompting him to reassess his position on the team and his prospects in the league. The pivotal moment arrived in January 2019, when Davis courageously opted to publicly request a trade from the Pelicans. This declaration reverberated through the NBA landscape, leaving fans and analysts to ponder the repercussions of his choice. For Davis, asking for a trade marked an essential stride towards regaining his joy and reigniting his enthusiasm for the sport. This choice wasn't taken casually. He was well aware of the possible negative reactions from fans and the press, yet he stood firm in his conviction that a shift was vital for his happiness. This action reflected his dedication to valuing his mental health and individual satisfaction, despite any backlash. Davis's public plea for a trade represented a daring step that highlighted his resolve to pursue a new beginning. Yet, it simultaneously unleashed a wave of responses from supporters and journalists alike. The first reaction was sheer shock. Countless individuals found it hard to grasp why a talent like Davis would choose to depart from the franchise that had been his sanctuary for 7 seasons. Reporters analyzed every detail of the situation, pondering possible new homes and the consequences for both Davis and the Pelicans. As things started to calm, the storyline shifted towards a grimmer perspective. Supporters who once rallied behind Davis now branded him a turncoat for leaving the organization. The outcry was immediate and relentless, as social media erupted into a fierce arena of fervent debates and strong sentiments. Accusations of treachery emerged frequently, with fans voicing their dissatisfaction and rage about what they viewed as a treasonous act. For Davis, this response from the fanbase was a harsh reality to face. Although he sought to clarify his choice as one motivated by personal and career advancement, the story of betrayal continued to loom large. The critiques burdened him deeply, intensifying the difficulties of his already tumultuous circumstances. Davis was trapped in the unfortunate state of being condemned by those who had once revered him, a truth that affected his mental well-being. The media significantly influenced how the public perceived Davis's request for a trade. Experts and pundits analyzed each aspect, providing their viewpoints and forecasts. Some expressed compassion for Davis's situation, recognizing the hurdles he encountered and the validity of his wish for a shift. Conversely, some were quite critical, viewing his choice as a self-serving act that compromised the sport's integrity. In the midst of the upheaval, the Pelicans grappled with the challenging aftermath of Davis's trade demand. The organization was under increasing pressure to reach an agreement that would satisfy both sides while keeping the franchise's long-term future in mind. The discussions were intricate and lengthy, with several teams competing to obtain Davis's skills. In the end, the Los Angeles Lakers positioned themselves as the leading candidates to land Davis. The Lakers, featuring the iconic LeBron James, offered a captivating chance for Davis to become part of a legendary organization renowned for its achievements. The allure of teaming up with James and joining a squad with championship goals significantly influenced Davis's choice. His decision to switch to the Lakers was a pivotal point in his career, ushering in a fresh phase brimming with hope and opportunity. For Davis, this shift was an opportunity to rekindle his love for basketball and chase his ambitions in a setting that resonated with his goals. His transition to the Dallas Mavericks marks a stark contrast to his experience during the trade from the Lakers. In fact, Davis's first game suggests he may have to exert more effort to mitigate the criticism he could face from fans in the future. The reality of Davis's trade. The notable Lakers-Mavericks trade sent shockwaves across the NBA landscape and sparked wild speculations about the motives behind the sudden and puzzling player exchanges. A prominent theory suggests that internal conflict between Davis and Lakers co-star LeBron James were central to his departure. This disclosure was both a fleeting remark and a startling surprise that rippled through the league, particularly due to its timing. The context for this news was the jaw-dropping 3-team trade that transferred Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks. In this deal, the Los Angeles Lakers nabbed Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. On the other hand, the Utah Jazz ended up with Jalen Hood-Schifino, alongside the Clippers' 2025 second-round pick and the Mavericks' 2025 second-round draft choice. This transaction marked a monumental change in the NBA dynamic, uniquely orchestrated by the Mavericks rather than the Lakers, adding further complexity to the unfolding scenario. The report from Bill Writers indicated that whispers of LeBron's discontent with Davis had been circulating within the Lakers' ranks. Writers noted that this wasn't an emerging issue. He had voiced comparable concerns a year earlier in a CBS Sports HQ discussion, highlighting that LeBron's lofty expectations could be the root of some annoyance with Davis. Writers clarified that it didn't imply a push to trade Davis, but rather an insight that LeBron sensed things weren't functioning properly. The timing of this revelation was especially intriguing. Not long after the Lakers triumphed against the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden, where LeBron James notably shone, the trade news and whispers of his discontent with Davis found LeBron during dinner, taking him off guard. The unfolding story portrayed a star stunned by the rapid developments, amplifying the intrigue. True to his forthright nature, LeBron James responded to the rumors, delivering a firm rebuttal on X, the social media site. His message was clear and straightforward, urging others to disclose a falsehood. This public rebuttal intensified the situation, with fans and commentators examining each phrase in an effort to uncover the reality behind the story. The dynamic between LeBron James and Anthony Davis has been central to the Lakers' strategy since Davis's arrival. They collaborated to secure an NBA championship in the 2019-2020 season, highlighting their remarkable connection on the court. Yet, the latest rumors and the following trade have raised concerns about their alliance, leading to speculation about what could be amiss. The report from writers, though dramatic, didn't come as a complete surprise. LeBron James holds extraordinarily high expectations for himself and those around him. His quest for perfection is widely known, and even minor flaws can create friction. Regardless of its accuracy, The tale of discontent aligns with the larger narrative of a star aiming for unparalleled success. The trade was a major event, with far-reaching consequences for each team affected. Securing Luka Doncic marked a pivotal strategy for the Lakers, likely altering their trajectory. Doncic, a young phenom with exceptional skills, injects fresh energy into the squad. Meanwhile, the Mavericks scored big by acquiring Anthony Davis, a well-established star for their lineup. The Jazz also gained from this exchange, obtaining crucial draft picks that could influence their path ahead. A closer examination might lead NBA enthusiasts to ponder if the real motivation lies within. What could prompt the Los Angeles Lakers to part ways with Davis, a key player who has helped secure multiple championships for the franchise? In light of how James addressed the fans' concerns about a potential Davis trade, might this be more closely tied to Davis's history with injuries? It's important to remember that he was sidelined during the trade discussions and missed his final 2 outings with the Lakers. Is it possible that the management believed it wise to move on as they prepared for the upcoming season? Regardless of the underlying reasons, the immediate hurdle for Davis is to restore the trust and optimism of Mavericks fans in his abilities. Next, tap the following card to explore additional details about the most significant happenings in the NBA realm and its champions. Until next time.